Alrighty, so another weekend has come by with another fight night event. Cory Sandhagen versus Davison Figueiredo takes place this weekend, and I'm here to give you my picks and predictions. Not betting advice, I'm not your financial advisor. However, sometimes I dabble in the betting, especially more recently. Hey, we hit that Ian Gary decision, that's all I'm saying. Anyways, regardless. Yeah, I do this basically for fun. I do this because I can, and, I like having discussions about MMA. Yeah, so with all that being said, let's get into the predictions. First fight we have Juliana Miller versus Ivana Petrovic. Now, if you're new around here, I have this really high-tech method I do, where I figure out which woman is going to win the fight. Some people use the Fight Doctor, like We Want Picks. Shout out to them. They're one of the first channels I used to watch in order to get into the UFC, but some people use decision logic and reasoning like a Lucas Tracy, I think Lucas Tracy, I haven't watched his predictions in a while, like an MMA guru, like a bedtime MMA, I myself, the savant I am, I prefer using the fucking coin. Now, heads is the woman on the left, tails is the woman on the right. Let's see what we get. The heads went 2-0 last event. Let's keep the win streak, baby. Alright, we got fucking heads. Juliana Miller, she's got a nickname. She's 3-3. She wins this 29-28 via, yeah, being a woman, I guess. There's not much else I can say, boys. That's really the Tepology picks. Ooh, I might be cooked. Coin might be cooked. Alright, boys. Whatever. Fuck it, we ball. We stand with the coin. Alright? I don't dip out on my homies like that. Now, moving on. Heater of a matchup here. Dontel Mays versus Thomas Peterson. This is at heavyweight. Okay, that's interesting, because I know Dontel Mays used to compete at light heavyweight when he actually cared about his career. Now, this one's a little bit more interesting. Okay, without looking at the picks. Loss to Walter Walker, not a big deal, right? Shamil Gaziev, not a big deal. He beat Kyle Machado. Not really a great one either. Yeah, not really a great win either. Oh, but this guy just got slept by Shamil. This one's tough. I don't want to pick Dontel Mays, even though that slightly just showed up. Wow, that's 20%, eh? I'm not going to hide it. I mean, it just fucking showed up. I don't like looking at that just because I don't want it influencing it. I'm very, very tempted to pick Dontel Mays. Career on the line, back against the wall, Dontel Mays. He got submitted, it is what it is. But Thomas Peterson just got knocked out by Shamil Gaziev. What do I do for Dontel Mays, man? Oh no. Oh no. 11-8. Do we think he gets cut? Or are we gonna have another year of Dontel Mays? I just have this feeling that like Dontel Mays is just gonna fucking right hand down the pipe, kill Peterson somehow. I think I'm going Dontel Mays, boys. I'm not gonna lie. Thomas, I don't like the loss to Shamil, man. Jamal fucking Pogues? At least Dontel Mays, Andre Petrovsky win. Andre Arlovsky win. That's not a bad win, Like, that at least shows you can beat someone. Kyle Machado also, isn't a horrible fighter. He's bad, but this is heavyweights we're thinking of, guys. Come on. I think I'm gonna go with Dontel Mays by round 1 KO. Doing it. I hope the nice switch up to the topology. I changed it from Google. Upgrading. All right, as we do. This just I find makes it easier for me to keep track of who I choose. Yeah, I'm going with Dontel Mays by round 1 KO. I think he sleeps him. I can't pick a guy who's coming off 2 months ago getting flatline KO by Shamil Gaziev. I can't. I can't pick him. I'm sorry. You know, I know Shamil Gaziev is the blob for a reason, but he's not fucking good. Don'Tale Mayes is not good, but like, back against the wall, Don'Tale Mayes will at least probably throw one strike with everything he's got. I think that'll be enough to sleep Thomas Peterson here, you know? Yeah. Gaston Bolaños versus Quang Le. A lot of people shit on Gaston Bolaños in his last performance because he looked really slow, and I think he got finished or something like that. Yeah, he got finished by Marcus McGee. Look how well that's aged. His losses are not terrible either. Yeah, he's only got one loss in the UFC. That's not bad. It's not bad. That's not bad. You know, Quang Le, if he... this is the problem, man. He got whooped by Long Zhao, though. He got really whooped by Long Zhao. I don't know if I can pick Quang Le here. I think I'm just going to go Gaston Bolaños. He's a really good striker. He's a really powerful striker. Like, very good. Can be slow at times. But for the most part, he'll do the things he needs to do. If that makes sense. He's a little bit like Chris Curtis. What the fuck is Chris Gutierrez? He's a little bit like Chris Gutierrez, and that he's always like, he's doing the things he needs to do to win the round, making it kind of close. Like, yeah, he'll get wobbled. There was at one point where he got wobbled in his Cortavius Romeus fight, where I was like worried he might get finished. And he's got a little bit of a grappling problem, but he is really good at the takedown defense. I think Quang Le does get cut here, you know? I just don't think... What was the loss? Lost to Chris Gutierrez. Oh, I didn't plan that. I didn't look these up beforehand. Yeah, I think Gaston Bolaños is just like a more dangerous Chris Gutierrez. I think that's the way I'd put it, you know? With better takedown defense. With a little bit less output. So I think he is just I think he will just whoop Quang Le here. I don't think it'll be a TKO. I think Quang Le will probably get dropped, and I think there's going to be a lot of blood. But I don't think Bolaños is actually going to lose this one. I'm going to go with Bolaños by decision. Yeah, I'm going to go by 3-round decision. I can just trust Gaston Bolaños to do damage. I can't trust Quang Le to do damage. Maybe Quang Le has success. Did he win his debut? No, he didn't. He's, okay, KO'd a bunch of bums. He did look he looks high pace. If he doesn't finish Chris Gutierrez, I don't think he finishes Gaston Bolaños. It's kind of where I think is going here, because Chris Gutierrez is finishable. Gaston Bolaños is sort of on that same level of finishable. You know, he is kind of open. He's not really quick to react to defend the strikes. Could I see him getting chinned? Maybe. I just think he's going to outwork Quang Le. And I think that's, at the end of the day, what it's going to come down to. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Gaston Bolaños, winning this by 30-27. Moving on. Marina Rodriguez, Jillian Robertson. I believe one of these women is Canadian. So, let's see what we get, boys. Let's see who we're rocking with. Tails. All right, we got Jillian Robertson. I believe this is the Canadian. Oh! Booyah! Yeah! Who says I don't watch women's MMA? That's right. I know my women. Yeah, we're going with Jillian Robertson. Actually, I'm curious real quick. What are the takes on this Gaston Bolaños? Yeah, that's kind of what I thought it was going to be. Yeah. Don'Tale Mayes, Thomas Peterson. What was it? 20% Mayes? Yeah, fair enough. Marina Rodriguez versus Jillian Robertson. Yeah, we went with Jillian Robertson. Oh, a lot of people are riding with Jillian Robertson. Obviously Canadian. Here's the thing. People forget, man. Canada produces some of the most dangerous women. Alright? People forget, man. The GOAT of women's MMA is claiming to be Canadian. Okay? So, we have that Canadian buff. Hey, the natural GOAT. Who is it? Hey. GSP, baby. He may be French, but... Hey, Canada, we claim them when we're talking about GOATs. Okay? Until I get to the UFC and have my run. Hey. Ilya Taboria is quaking in his boots when he hears my name, just saying. But regardless, Yeah, Jillian Robertson's going to win this 29-28 classic women's MMA fashion, you know? Who did Marina lose to? Lucindo, Andrade. To be fair, it's like higher level competition, you know? It's not bad. Verna Janda, yeah, her losses are good quality losses, in fairness. But, yeah, Jillian Robertson, she wins by being a strong, independent white woman who don't need no man over here in Canada. Fuck. Moving on, Azmat Bekov versus Ryan Loader. Now, Ryan Loader is actually not that bad, considering he just knocked out, what's his name? Fought Torres Finney. Oh, fuck, what's his name? I can't remember his name. It's pissing me off. Robert Valentin. I knew it was an R, but I didn't want to sound like a special ed kid. But, like, Ryan Loader isn't, like, that tested. He got, like, a good KO on a chinny guy. But I think this is Azmat Bekov, eh? Looking at Zach Reese. Was that the slam KO? Ground and pound? That was the recent one. 3 months ago, really? Zach Reese got... Really? That's crazy. Anyways. Really? Yeah, and we're looking at... That was his debut. So, no debut jitters for either of these gentlemen. This is a hard one to pick. Ooh, Man of Steel Ryan Loader. Or, how old is this gentleman? 33? He's taller. Does have a reach advantage. Doesn't say the gym. American Top Team's not a terrible gym. I think I'm just going to go Azmat Bekov. And I think this will be like a boring decision. I think round 1 will look like fireworks. Round 2 and 3 are going to be boring. I think both of these men, after their debut, they want to go into the win streak column. Both of them are going to tit for tat, not really try to initiate anything. And it'll be a very big staring contest. We might have like a Chris Gutierrez, John Castaneda performance where it's like a... You know, one of them gets a takedown, and then the other one's, like, really doing good in the striking. Oh, he dropped them in that moment to take back the round. Like, we might have one of those. But I think it'll be a clear 3-2. Or 3-2. Whoa, this is a 5-round fight. 3-0. Azmat Bekov. Only because... Well, what is the consensus here? Yeah, Ryan Loader. Yeah, kind of figured. But, yeah, only because Bekov... I like the momentum, alright? I like the momentum. I like the age. I like the Zachary Reese KO. I think that was the ground slam one. Slam KO one. I'm sorry, I'm a little retarded if you catch my drift, but yeah, I think I just rate the win better than Robert Valentin, who's now 0-2 in the UFC. Don't really trust it with Ryan Loader. I get that his opponent arguably beat Torres Finney, but I don't really rate it at all. Yeah, Azmat Bekov. I'm going Azmat Bekov by decision. I think it'll be a boring decision. Are we looking at like a high KO rate? Why are so many people... Like, he finished that guy 19-9, okay. Ooh, those are good decisions too, against like decent comp, like in terms of like their records at least, I guess. LFA, a little bit more known organization as well. I don't know any fucking Shabazian. Interesting. Yeah, a lot of people riding high on the KO. I don't know. I'm gonna go with Bekov by decision though. I think Bekov is just like solid, but I just think these guys are gonna go after it in round 1. Round 2 and 3 are gonna be boring. Moving on. Yana Santos versus Miesha Tate. Why the fuck is there so many goddamn women? Fuck! Anyways. Jesus Christ, man. Fucking women's MMA. Can't believe this goddamn dog shit. Yana Santos is winning this. Via being... Foxy. How old is she? Because before looking at age, she looks like she's 44. 35. Miesha Tate's older? Brother. That looks like my grandmother. No offense. Yana Santos, alright? You look like my grandmother, alright? Good looking gal, to be fair, but still. Yeah, we're going with Yana Santos. Near even, eh? So what are the... Damn, everyone's riding on Tate, though. That's kind of interesting. What are we looking at here? Beat Chelsea Chandler. No one cares. When was that? 8 months ago? Holy shit. Carol Rosa. Lost to Holly Holm. Yikes. Very inactive. What do we got here? Laura Murphy, Julia, fucking whatever these names are. Bunch of cans at the end of the day. Fuck Misha Tate. Don't give a fuck. We're going with our girl Santos. She's winning this by a 29-28 split decision, as women do. Moving on. Jeremy Stevenson. Jeremy Stevenson coming out of retirement to fight Mason Jones. I'm going with Mason Jones by KO in round 1. Yeah, I don't know why Jeremy Stevenson would come out of retirement at the age of fucking 38 years old. And I swear to God, someone can quote me if I'm wrong. I genuinely don't think someone has come out in their retirement in their past 2 years and had a win after their retirement. You had fucking... Oh, did Matt Chanel win? Shit, Matt Chanel won. Fuck, I just ate my own words. Well, one of them just did. I don't think anybody else is. You know, I know Jose Aldo came out of retirement, had a great performance. Other than that, we've had, who was that guy? That guy on the Australian card, can't remember his fucking name. I think he's a light heavyweight or a middleweight, can't remember. That ended in a draw. We had, like, I can't remember these fucking names, bro. Henry Cejudo, also losing streak. There was another one, like, not too long ago that I'm just, like, I'm blanking on his name. Fuck. Chris Weidman. I wasn't really a retirement, but you get what I mean. Yeah, I can't trust a debut. I can't trust an outside retirement. Wow, plus 360, eh? That's kind of insane. Yeah, I'm just gonna go KO round 1, Mason Jones. Like, a young buck coming off a win after... Oh, this is his debut? Oh, shit. Oh, damn. Damn. Alright, we might be going Jeremy Stevenson with this one, boys. No, I'm joking. Yeah, I think it'll just be Mason Jones. I think it's, like, he's gonna be wanting to get rid of Jeremy Stevenson in the first. Stevenson, like, bro, like, what are we looking at here? Who? You know, getting submitted by who? He beat who? You know? Who? You know? Oh, he lost to Mateus Gamrot, you know? Hey, respectable loss, I guess. Calvin Kattar KO. Yeah, man. Like, I'm not picking Jeremy Stevenson. I know he's, like, a little more known to the old heads. Hey, young blood here. Hand on the Bible. Or whatever book you pray to. I've never seen this guy fight. Maybe I saw this arm triangle. Oh, no, that's PFL. I definitely didn't see this shit. What the fuck? This is all in the PFL. That's why I'm not seeing... Oh, that's why I don't know the names. He hasn't fought in the UFC for 3 years. That makes sense. Hand on the Bible. I haven't seen him fight once. I probably saw highlights of a Jeremy Stevenson thing. But yeah, I haven't seen this guy fight. I don't like the age. I don't like this PFL 1 and 2. Like, I don't like this in the PFL. You know, if this guy can make it to the UFC, young blood, I think there's potential in this guy. This guy's got nothing, you know. Wales? Hey. Wales brethren, even though I'm not from Wales. Yeah, let's go fucking Mason Jones, I guess. Yeah, I'm gonna go by brutal round 1 KO flatline. Moving on, Cameron Smotherman versus Surrey City. This might be an unpopular opinion. I'm going with Smotherman, and I'm gonna go with a KO in round 1. I lied. I'm gonna go with a KO in round 2. I was thinking about this fight when I saw it, and I'm like, Cameron Smotherman. Who's Cameron Smotherman? Oh yeah, he's the guy who just put on a masterclass against Jake Hadley. Get it, Jake Hadley got cut from the UFC. He's no longer, like... I get it, right? Like, he's not UFC level, right? But he masterclassed him, alright? And Jake Hadley had some pretty decent wins, to be fair. But yeah, he whooped Jake Hadley. Cameron Smotherman looked fucking amazing in that fight. I think it was a clear 30-27. Surrey City, Canadian, red flag, alright? Especially as a male fighter. Lost to Ramon Tavares. I think some people are calling it a robbery. Or maybe it was. I can't remember too much. I think that one was actually a controversial one. But I think that was like a trilogy fight if I'm not mistaken, against a bum like Ramon Tavares. Ramon Tavares also is not UFC level. We've seen his IQ. He's very dumb. The fact that he even made it close with Ramon Tavares is a big red flag to me. He did beat Garrett Armfield, which is a respectable win. But Garrett Armfield is kind of overrated at this point, and I think we all know that. He's like a Christian Rodriguez, you know? He is like a natural Christian Rodriguez. I mean natural because C-Rod is like a 145er, not really a 135er. So he's like the 135 Christian Rodriguez, where he's really good against like these prospects coming up and shit, but he's not good against like anyone with like more than 10 IQ, you know? What was that Canadian fought? Not Brad, was it Brad Katona? Something like that. Something Katona. I can't fucking remember at this point. There's a lot of names. Yeah, regardless, Sergey Saidi, he's Canadian. Can't trust it. Cameron Smotherman has looked chinny in a few of his highlights that I've seen. But he did just put on a masterclass. Smotherman could be something. Young, improving. What I like to see from a young fighter is improvement, you know? I want to see that you're beating the guys you're supposed to beat via whooping their ass. Sergey Saidi, to me, still seems inconsistent and still seems to be, like, the same level consistently, you know? If I'm not mistaken, that is actually, where is this guy's name? Is this main card? Oh my god, we're on the main card. If I'm not mistaken, it was a trilogy with this Ramon Tavares guy, right? Lee. Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else then. No, it was. It was a rematch? Or a trilogy? Was it booked and canceled or something? Oh, here we go. Here we go. Yeah, I can't fucking... I just remember them advertising the Ramon Tavares Sergey Saidi fight as like this big deal. It was not. And it was an okay performance, I guess. But yeah, I think Sergey Saidi is just going to be behind. And I can see Cameron Smotherman probably dropping him once or twice. I actually really rate Cameron Smotherman. I think he's a little slept on in terms of his skill. Mainly based on his last performance. I guess we'll see what happens. Wow, a lot of people are picking Smotherman. I was not expecting that. Based on the odds. Wow, that's actually insane. Really? Hey, people are they're waking up to the Canadian soys, you know? You can't trust a Canadian fighter, I'm telling you. Book it. There are times where I'll pick Canadian fighters, but this is not one of them. Moving on, Montel Jackson versus Daniel Marcos. A lot of people, I think, are very hard on Montel Jackson here. I've been preaching to the choir, Daniel Marcos sucks. I'm very tempted to pick him. I am so tempted to pick him because he could win this Daniel Marcos 29-28 decision. I think I am going to go Montel Jackson only because of how dangerous he can be. And you know what? Prospects this year have been getting fraud checked left and right. And at this point, it's a coin flip if a fraud check is going to pass their fucking test. Montel Jackson is this guy's test. I can see Daniel Marcos beating Montel Jackson, but equally I can see Montel Jackson being that gatekeeper for a Daniel Marcos, you know? Yeah, 17-0 is crazy, but that draw with Aoriqi Lang, all right? Not a good look. The fight with John Castaneda, way too close. Even though Chris Gutierrez, I was barely able to beat him. The fight with Adrian Yanez. I arguably thought Yanez won that. It was close. But, like, Yanez is good, but he wasn't doing the things he needed to do to win, if that makes sense. Like, he needed to be blasting that low kick. He needed to be fighting at range. He needed to say, fuck the boxing, and just, like, do his use of Zalal style fucking whip the kick and then bounce away for a little bit, you know? Don't try to box with Daniel Marcos, you know? Not that he's a good boxer, it's just that Yanez is an overrated boxer is kind of my point there. Montel Jackson does have the power to put this kid out. Is he coming off? Yeah, he's coming off 2 KOs. Ronnie Yaya is a 50-year-old man. Don't really rate that win. But his win over Damon Blackshear is aged very good. It was a scripted win. I don't mean that in the literal sense. If you watch it, It looked like Damon Blackshear shut off his brain and didn't know how to compute a right hand coming to him. And he's just like, oh, well, now I'm just going to get slept. And that's how it looked like. So, a little bit of a scripted win. Fuck, do I go Daniel Marcos? I'm so tempted. Because Daniel Marcos... Damn, a lot of people riding on Jackson, eh? Fuck, but Daniel Marcos is like... The thing with people who are 17-0 or like 12-0 plus, the fact that they're winning is a good sign. That means they know what to do. But with Daniel Marcos, he does just leave it too close. Should I be the sheep and follow Montel Jackson, or do I pick Daniel Marcos to win via plot armor? This is a tough decision, man. Fuck, man. What are we looking at? Height and reach. It's not that far off, to be fair. Fuck. I can't see Montel getting chinned. Oh, it's so hard. Why is this so hard to decide? I'm going to go with Montel Jackson. I'm going to go KO. I'm going to say he gets it in the third after a 1-1. And it going very risky in the third for both fighters. Yeah. Ooh. I'm just getting that feeling like I'm going to regret this decision now. Ugh. You know? Daniel Marcos might be the underdog. Man, he might be the guy to get it done. I'm going with Montel Jackson. Fuck it. Moving on. Santiago Ponzinibbio versus Daniel Rodriguez. I was very close to picking Ponzinibbio. I think I'm just going to go with D-Rod. I could see D-Rod getting chinned. I think he'll get wobbled. I don't think he'll get chinned. I think he'll chin Santiago Ponzinibbio. I think he was just trying to get in the win column with his last one. Yeah, 3 losses in a row. Not a good look. And I think there was a PED test after this. Not a good look at all. But Ponzinibbio could get a sub. Like, he's good, too. Like, he's not bad. He's like a worse Elizu Zaleski dos Santos, if that makes sense. So it is tough. It is tough. I'm very tempted to pick Santiago. Oh, but I want to pick Daniel Rodriguez, but I have a feeling he's not going to win because I want him to win. You know that feeling? Like, you want Protez to get that KO, but you know he's not going to win. Why do I feel this way about Ponzinibbio? Argentine. Ugh, both of them are 38 later in their career. No reach advantage for D-Rod. Hey, 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu. Hey, shout out to my boys. Alright, that's the gym I used to train at. Fuck, man. Ugh. I'm going to be rooting for D-Rod. I'm going to go with Ponzinibbio by sub. Yeah. I'm going to say he gets it done in round 2. I don't want to, but I just have a feeling that Ponzinibbio is about to get it done. His losses, to be fair, Kevin Holland, not a bad loss, get it KO, but, you know, not a bad loss. Muslim Salikov, Michel Pereira, these are all like, a split decision against Michel Pereira is a pretty good win. Aboush just got that. And this is at a weight class lower, so in even more dangerous Michel Pereira, not bad. Another split decision against Muslim Salikov, and then he KOs Carlston Harris. Yeah, man. I think this will be a club and sub. I think he'll drop Daniel Rodriguez, and then I think he's going to go for the sub. I don't want to, but I can just so see Ponzinibbio doing it. D-Rod's good, but it's almost like his striking is aged, and it's like, it's not good enough anymore, you know? Like, I get it, he beat Alex Morono. Morono is just a punching bag, and he made it close in moments. I don't like that, you know? The Kelvin Gastelum, I respect the loss, because it's kind of bullshit that Kelvin showed up 10 pounds overweight, the fat fuck. Ian Gary, it is what it is, and then the whole, like, I think before the Ian Gary was the PED suspension, or maybe it was just after. Wow, that was a quick turnaround. Or no, never mind, that was a year. I was reading that wrong. Regardless, I'm gonna go with Ponzinibbio, you know? Yeah, wow, people are on the same side, eh? Okay. I'm cooking with my picks right now. Yeah, I'm going to go with Santiago. I think he gets it done. I'm going to go sub round 3. Sub round 3, I think both are going to have success in each round. I think we're either going to see a round 1 where D-Rod's looking clean, he's looking fucking amazing. We're going to see... No, actually, scratch that. We're going to see the reverse. We're going to see Ponzinibbio doing really well. We're going to see a comeback in round 2 for Daniel Rodriguez, a second hurrah. And in the third, Daniel Rodriguez is just going to get too sloppy, and Ponzinibbio is going to club and sub him. You know, drop him and then instantly go for like a submission, like rear naked, whatever. Because Daniel Rodriguez is weak on the ground. That's my biggest worry. So, yeah, I'm going with Ponzinibbio. I think he's good. Moving on, we have Reiner de Ridder versus Bo Nickel. There is an idea of Bo Nickel. And then there is Bo Nickel. All right. I'm going to say it right now. I'm putting them on. That's right. The Aura glasses are coming on. I think it's time for Bo Nickel to finally get a fucking highlight in the UFC. On not a can. And I think he actually finishes Reiner de Ridder by KO. Reiner de Ridder has the worst stand-up of all time. No one can convince me otherwise. I think you could take a toddler untrained and have better stand-up with that toddler, you know? I've never seen a least threatening human being in terms of... If Ian Gary's outside of the conversation, I've never seen a least threatening human being on the feet than Reiner de Ridder. Yeah, I'm gonna go with KO. I'm gonna go with round 1. I think he's gonna get it. I think it's gonna be one of those, like, swinging for the fences, overhand right, Joaquin Buckley style, and it's just gonna connect and just chin the fuck out of Reiner de Ridder so bad. You know, I think he's cooked. I do. That's my prediction. I think Reiner de Ridder... See, the thing with Bo Nickel, he is shit. Don't get me wrong. He's a terrible MMA fighter. But this won't be an MMA fight. This is going to be Reiner de Ridder standing up with Bo Nickel because he won't be able to get a takedown. If Reiner de Ridder takes down Bo Nickel, fraud of the year, okay? Fraud of the year is Bo Nickel if he gets taken down by Reiner de Ridder. So this is going to be mostly stand-up. I don't think Reiner de Ridder has the capabilities of surviving stand-up with any human being. Listen, I'm with you guys saying that Bo Nickel is overrated. I genuinely do think Paul Craig beat Bo Nickel. I'll stand on that. Hey, flag placed, alright? I'm standing on business. Fucking 10 toes down, whatever the saying is, alright? Standing on business here. I do think Paul Craig was robbed of that victory. I thought he outstruck him for the first 2, and in the third, I would have given it to Bo Nickel. But I thought Paul Craig was clearly up, and in 2 of the 3 rounds. I thought he beat him. You know, Bo Nickel didn't shoot a takedown. Paul Craig didn't have to initiate anything. He kept on thrusting his groin at him and won via groin thrust. You know, just feinting kicks the whole time. So Bo Nickel's really bad. But, like, Reiner de Ridder does not have MMA striking. Like, that's the problem with Reiner de Ridder. He's not good. Like, take DDP style, remove the cardio, and remove the toughness and the power, and you have Reiner de Ridder striking. So just like a running in there, you know, if you catch what I mean, just running in there trying to get a KO. You know, I get it. He wobbled fucking GM3, but he's got to take down and gas out Bo Nickel. He's not doing that. So yeah, I'm going with Bo Nickel. I think he gets it done. I think this is his highlight. I think it's going to be a round 1 KO, clean right hand over the top. And it'll be some cringe shit where he's like, oh yeah, everyone's saying I can't strike. What now? You beat like a fucking toddler with big legs. That's who you beat in striking, okay? Yeah, I think he'll try to go for a highlight this time around. You know, silence the doubters, as they say. Yeah, I'm going with Bo Nickel by KO in round 1. Kind of a wild pick. I get it, because of Bo Nickel's, like, grappling mystique, but I just can't see Reiner de Ridder doing anything to Bo Nickel, you know? Like, with Paul Craig, granted, I couldn't see Paul Craig out-striking Bo Nickel, even though he did. I can't see Reiner de Ridder doing the same. You know, Paul Craig's a rangy dude who can use kicks well, who's been battle tested in the UFC. You know, his power level increases with the skill level he's faced with. You know, so that's something about Paul Craig that people forget, man. But I just don't think Reiner de Ritter has any sort of threat other than a sub. What is it, 3 subs? Or I can't believe he's KO'd somebody. That's crazy. Yeah, 2 subs in the UFC. Like, I respect Reiner de Ritter for taking this fight. And on paper, the dangerous grappler against the pussy wrestler. All day, I'd be taking the dangerous grappler here, you know? But it's just not going to be a grappling match. It will be a stand-up match, and I think he gets slept badly. Like, I'm talking real badly. You know, former double champs getting smoked. I think it'll be flatline. 50-50! Are you guys on crack? Who the fuck is voting? Who? Okay, Reiner de Ritter by sub, I respect that, but like, who's this 6% of you voting Reiner de Ritter via TKO? What the fuck are you smoking? Anyways, that's the co-main event, eh? Main event of the evening. There is an idea of Cory Sandhagen. Then there is Cory Sandhagen. I want to pick Davison Figueiredo in this fight so badly, because Figueiredo is fucking good. A little bit of quit in him if he gets eye poked, if he gets nut shotted. A little bit of quit in him, you know? But he won't quit in terms of like, oh, I'm down on rounds, I'm not going to go for a finish. He'll quit in terms of like, I've been eye poked, I've been nut shotted, it's whatever, I lost to a cheater anyways, right? Like, he'll quit on the stool like that. He won't quit in terms of, oh, I'm down 4 rounds, I'm not going to pour it on him in the 5th. But I think he's capped out at his skill. Like, I think we've seen where Davison Figueiredo is. And as entertaining as it would be seeing Figueiredo versus Merab, because I actually think that fight would be sick to watch. Because Figueiredo, I think, has a really good chance of beating Merab. I do think Cory Sandhagen is going to win this. Vintage Cory Sandhagen close decision, where it's going to be rounds are going to be arguable, but he's going to win it purely because of narratives like Cory Sandhagen can fight Sean O'Malley, Petr Yan, fucking in a rematch. Merab, like shit like that, you know? I think Davison Figueiredo's era is just over. And I think Cory Sandhagen, while he does get a little too deep into the beakers and test tubes, as some YouTubers like to say, he did have the best scrambles of all time against Umar Nurmagomedov, including Brandon Royval. I rate Brandon Royval's scrambles the best in the UFC. I think Cory Sandhagen is either that level or above. He just got too, I'm going to try to knock out Umar for no reason. And he just never did. Like, he'd get jabbed 3 times, and then he'd fucking throw 1 punch and be like, I'm up in the round, right, guys? Right, my corner? No, you fucking idiot. You actually have to outstrike him. But he did, like, have phenomenal scramble abilities. So, I don't think Figueiredo's gonna have the success that someone like Aljo had on Cory Sandhagen. I think Cory Sandhagen does improve. I just also think Cory Sandhagen, in order to beat him, you'd have to be better than him in areas. Like, Cory Sandhagen has to lose via him making the mistakes, if that makes sense. You know? Like, to lose to Cheeto, you have to be the one making mistakes. Cory is the one to make mistakes, but he didn't make enough for Cheeto to even get, like, more than 1 round on Cory Sandhagen, despite the split decision you may see, which is absolutely horse shit. Yeah, Cory Sandhagen clearly beat Cheeto Vera. I do think Figueiredo, like, he is the style to beat Cory Sandhagen. Powerful striker, good on the ground, battle-tested. Like, I really rate Davison Figueiredo's odds here. I saw the odds earlier. Bro, these odds are insane. These odds are actually fucking insane. You know? I get it, 3-2 decision with Umar. Like, oh, let's fucking blow up Cory Sandhagen's thing. If I was to make this fight, I'd say minus 125 Cory. Maybe. Minus 150. Because Cory will have performances where he looks like shit. Not the Petr Yan one, because the Petr Yan one was kind of close, but he just got outworked. So did Davison Figueiredo. That's the exact same thing that just happened to him. But late in Figueiredo's career, you know? I get it was more obvious in Figueiredo, but still, you know? And then his performance against, what's his name? Aljamain Sterling, where Aljo got the back and just subbed them rear naked style. I get it, like 4 years ago, I get it, right? But it is just, oh, he beat Song Yadong via corner stoppage. Cool, you know? Oh, you beat Chito Vera. Cool, you know? Oh, you beat Rob Font. Cool, you know? Like, the way Figueiredo's beating people is far more impressive. Cody Garbrandt, the way he subbed Cody, I think, was really good because no one's really ever done that to Cody Garbrandt. And this is on, like, Cody Garbrandt's second run. I do think Figueiredo is being slept on in this fight. I can see Figgy beating Cory Sandhagen. I think Cory is just smart enough now in his career to avoid the big... He's smart enough to avoid the big shots that will put him down and, like, the submission threats. You know, like, he knows when someone's going for a rear naked. He knows what to do to plan against someone's, like, style now. You know? I just think sometimes it's, like, fluke of the moment where he gets too invested into it. Invested into, like, what's going on. And that's where he gets caught. That's where he's making mistakes. You know? But the Rob Font performance, he did it with one arm and out-grappled Rob Font. Very impressive shit. But it is just, like, he can be Nurmagomedov. And he can be budget cut O'Malley. Like Timu O'Malley, you know? Where he is just on the feet and he's doing really well. Figueiredo can be chinned. Can quit if too much shenanigans happens. Can be outworked. You know, and that's kind of what I'm worried with Figueiredo. Don't think he quits. But I do think Cory's going to win this. You know, Reach is very close. That's actually surprising. But yeah. Slight lean to Sandhagen. Very slight lean to Sandhagen. I respect Figueiredo a lot more than these odds suggest. What are people saying? A Sandhagen decision? That's insane. You know? But yeah. Those are my picks and predictions for this UFC event. If you stuck around all the way to the end and disagree with any of my picks or predictions, feel free to disagree with me in the comments. We can have a little back and forth. But yeah, made it all the way to the end. I want to thank you for watching. And as always, I hope you have a good day.